what's up everybody? GameDad here, coming at you guys with another collection video. This time I'm showcasing part 1 of my Sega Saturn collection. Now, come with me as we see what games there are. Alone in the Dark, One-Eyed Jack's Revenge was released in 1993 by iMotion and is a survival horror game and follow-up to the original game from the prior year. While this game is a lot less horror themed than the first game, there are still some spiritual aspects to it. In the game, you're trying to find a kidnapping victim named Grace Saunders by going to a mansion run by notorious gangsters. Area 51 was released by Midway in 1995 and is a classic arcade light gun style game with cheesy FMV and a lot of action. I remember countless hours playing this game in arcades and having a blast with friends. Having it on the console just means that I get to relive those awesome times with friends and family at home now. Black Fire was released in 1995 by Sega and is a 3D helicopter game where you fly covert missions and take out the enemies along the way. It took me a few tries to figure out the controls for the game since they weren't very intuitive, but the game wasn't too bad overall. Command & Conquer was released by Westwood Studios in 1995 and is basically the only style of gaming I played in my early teen years. I absolutely loved the Command & Conquer franchise. Didn't care much for the later releases, but I spent hundreds of hours taking out NOD and GDI bases and LAN parties with my friends. Criticom was released in 1995 by Kronos Digital Entertainment and is your typical fighting style game. I didn't find anything too impressive with it other than it having cutscenes, which for the time was pretty cool to see. Overall, it felt mediocre to me though. Croc Legend of the Gobos was released by Argonaut Games in 1997 and feels like the Saturn's attempt at a mascot. Now, I'm not saying they failed completely, but I don't exactly see any Croc games getting a remaster, do you? It's fun if you've got some time to kill, and it does use a Saturn 3D controller, so that's cool I guess. Die Hard Trilogy was released in 1996 by Fox Interactive and is the only combo pack style game I own for the Saturn to date. It comes with the games for the original trilogy of Die Hard movies. From what I played of it, the controls weren't exactly clunky, but they were fairly difficult to use. It was hard to get John to actually aim properly and take out the enemies. Dragon Force was released by Sega in 1996 and is an all-out epic game set in a fantasy world. The game is a mix of RTS and RPG, and was able to have on-screen battles of up to 200 enemies at once, which is crazy at the time. You play as one of 8 different rulers in the game and set out to take over the entire map. Independence Day was released in 1997 by Radical Entertainment and is a 3D game adaptation from the movie of the same name. The gameplay is fast-paced and definitely has movie elements in it, but it didn't have a take-you-through-the-movie plot kind of story. It was more of an aerial dogfight kind of game instead. Not great, but not terrible. Manx TT Superbike was released by Sega in 1995 and has a very Road Rash-style racing feel to it, just without the weapons. Something unique to it, though, is the way the entire screen turns in the first-person view. I'm sure some people were a fan of this feature, but I just found myself turning my head to keep up with the on-screen changes. Nights into Dreams was released in 1995 by Sonic Team and was the first game of its kind offering true 3D exploration through flight with the main character. The game is bright and colorful and is also super fun. This game also introduced the brand new 3D controller to the Saturn, which offered an analog-style joystick for the player to use instead of the generic D-pad that most other games used. Panzer Dragoon II Zwei was released by Sega in 1996 and is a 3D on-rail style shooter where you ride dragons. What could be more fun than that? This series also spawned what is likely the most expensive Saturn game that exists, Panzer Dragoon Saga. This game is a lot of fun with action happening constantly and the ability to shoot in the full 360 degrees. Quiz Naniro Dreams was released in 1996 by Capcom, and unfortunately I don't have much that I can say about it because I don't have a Japanese Saturn and this game is region locked. It could be the greatest Saturn game of all time and I just don't know it. Someday I'll get a Japanese Saturn and try it out. So there you have it everybody, that is everything that is currently in part 1 of my Sega Saturn collection. Now what's your favorite Sega Saturn game? Do you prefer shooters on the console? Do you prefer more action style games? Let me know down in the comments below. And also while you're there, please don't forget to hit those like and subscribe buttons and also hit that notification bell, that way you get alerted every time I got a new video coming out. Now as always, I'm GameDad, I thank you guys for watching and I'll catch you later.